What's up everyone, thanks for tuning in. On this episode, I'm going to show you how to convert your third generation Accord from Obd0 to Obd1. So let's get started. Let's talk about this parts list. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is an Obd0 to Obd1 conversion harness. I highly recommend Boom Slang because to my knowledge, they're the only manufacturer that makes a simple plug and play harness for our cars. You can use other harnesses out there people have in the past. You may have to do some repinning and rewiring on a couple things, but if you know what you're doing, it shouldn't be a problem. So nothing wrong going that route. But for just ease of just simple plug and play, Boom Slang is what I recommend. I will leave a link in the description below where you guys can purchase that harness if you're interested. Number two, you're going to need an Obd1 non-VTEC ECU. I personally went with a refurbished chipped P75 ECU, and I had the seller set it up with a non-VTEC B18 LS base map. Now, the A20 will start and will run pretty decent on that base map, but guys, please do not get too crazy driving the car on that base map. Definitely go get a tune just for safety's sake and just to be able to get the most optimum performance out of your A20 depending on what mod you have on it. I mean, you guys can actually do this modification as long as you're fuel injected, and that's it. You guys can be completely stock, you don't need anything else. Number three, a modified Obd1 distributor. Now, Brandon from Shane86 LXI pretty much hooked me up with like a kit, so to speak, and he pretty much guided me through the whole conversion process, which again, thank you, Brandon. So he actually modified the distributor for me. And so if you guys have read the Obd1 write-ups on the 3Gs forum, there's a part where they talk about the need of re-drilling the cam key. Brandon told me he did not re-drill mine, nor did he re-drill his before he went to coil unplug, and neither of us have ran into any problems doing that. All he told me was he just changed the firing order of it and just I hooked up the spark plug wires accordingly to which he labeled it on the distributor cap, which I will show you, and had zero problems. I will show you guys how to find how to pretty much find out the firing order, which you need depending on what distributor you get. It's pretty simple. He hooked me up with a non-VTEC B18 distributor. People have also used the F22 distributor out of the 4th generation Accord or CV7s, and the Obd1 D16 distributors will work as well. I'm pretty sure it's out of the EGR, the 92, 95 motors. But just whatever distributor you use, guys, be sure to check what the firing order is for the engine and for the distributor, just so you guys will be able to figure everything out. So it's pretty simple to figure out. And then number four, Brandon also made this for me, the distributor adapter plate. It's pretty self-explanatory, especially once I show you the reason why. It doesn't really matter what distributor you choose to get. And then lastly, an Obd0 to Obd1 distributor harness. Now all I gotta say about this, guys, is just make sure to get a harness that is made with the wire colors that will match up to the ones in your engine bay, as well as like the plugs that came off the Obd1. I got one that the wiring did not match up any of the colors in the bay or anything else. It's kind of hard to talk about. I'll just show you guys. Even better if you guys already bought the stuff and you guys bought one that's not color, that you guys are going to be unable to color match. I'll even show you the diagram of what everything needs to be wired to, just to make it easier. Okay, now for reference, for you guys who wanted to do this, save time looking this info up, the firing order for the A20 is 1342, which is, I'm pretty sure it's pretty common throughout other Honda motors. Our cylinders 1, 2, 3, 4, distributor side, cam gear side, radiator, where the firewall would be. So just for reference, guys. All right. So let's look at the bay. Okay, let's talk about this distributor as well as the adapter plate that Brandon cooked up for me. So here's the adapter plate. I'll show you the back side, what it looks like. Okay, now let's talk about it. You're gonna have 3 mounting points. You're gonna have one here, here, and you won't be able to see this on camera, but trust me, it's there. Right underneath right here. Now, for this bolt in particular, when you take off the OEM distributor, there's going to be a long skinny stud there that needs to be removed. Brandon suggested me to use a pair of vice grips, which I used, and it was able to take it out pretty easily. You guys can just break it loose and you literally roll it out by hand. And then you're gonna have your advance and retard adjustment bolts right here, one here and one down here. I know most of you guys don't need to know this, but it never hurts, you know. Advance towards the firewall, retard towards the radiator. Now before you do this, make sure the engine is at top dead center. And you more than likely, at least I did, have to retime the engine again anyway. Well, I'll show you guys how to do that. So here, if you guys haven't seen the cam gear video yet, I'll just give you guys a quick review. So top dead center, I know this is a BC Moto, but you know, it's pretty simple. Pretend this is the up symbol on your OEM cam gear. And then I'm gonna try to zoom in on these. White mark there, white mark there. You're gonna have little like slit cuts on yours. Top dead center is when both of these lines matched up to where the valve cover meets to the bottom of the head. Or sorry, where the valve cover meets to the head on both sides. Okay, these two should be like that. And then obviously the up logo facing up. Okay, distributor. So he nicely labeled it for me. Okay, so I'm gonna take this thing apart real quick and then get into more detailed view so you guys can enjoy that. And I'm gonna fast forward it because it's gonna be a long, boring process. Okay, so here's a distributor cap that he labeled. Get this to focus. Okay, so 1, 3, 4, 2. Now that 1, 3, 4, 2 is pretty relative through almost all the well-known Honda motors, at least that I'm aware of. Kind of runs the same thing. So if you guys want to figure out what the firing order is depending on what you guys got, here's a cool way to figure it out. So turn your motor to top dead center where cylinder 1 is up, and then look at your distributor rotor, sorry. You see how it's pointed towards like an 11 o'clock? So if at top dead center, now I'll lose this. Oh, it's not gonna fall out, hopefully. So at top dead center, if your rotor, depending on where your rotor is at, it's going to be pointed at number 1, at cylinder 1. So you notice how it's like that. So then there's your start off point. So then you can start counting 1, 3, 4, 2. There's an easy way of doing it, guys. All right, I'm going to continue taking this apart. Okay, just for reference, guys, here's where that, sorry guys, here's where that third bolt is. This is what it's gonna look like. Okay. And then, talk about the distributor real quick. So yeah, just give them what it looks like. Here's the harness. Now, blue's gonna be tack. Just to focus, sorry guys. Blue's gonna be tack, black and yellow's gonna be power. And then these are the color wires I'm talking about. That the distributor harness that I got should have been as easy as just color matching this on the distributor harness, but none of the wires were any of these colors. So I have to figure it out. But thankfully Brandon helped me out on that. But I'll put a picture on the pinout for that, so in case you guys run into a similar problem or just want an easier way to read it, you can do it like that. Okay, I'm gonna put this back on now. See, I'm gonna leave those unplugged for now. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I'll be a little bit easier. All right, guys, let's look inside the car. Now, the factory OEM Obd0 ECU, as well as the harness, is going to be located underneath the driver's side seat. Now, I moved the harness for the ECU over to the passenger side floor well. You guys do not have to do this. You guys can simply do all the work where the old factory ECU was, as well as the wiring. I did this for just personal preference and just so I can have ease of access to the ECU and the wiring if need to be later on in the future. So let's talk about this. Okay, all the green stuff, this is the boom slang harness. As I said, super simple plug and play. All of this was located underneath the driver's side seat, plugged into the OEM ECU. This gray plug hanging right here is your service connector plug. So when you guys are going to set timing of this car, which I highly recommend to set timing, you are going to obviously keep the car off, put that back in. You're going to bridge this. You can use a piece of wire, or you can use paper clip like I use. You're going to put it one in one hole, another one in the other hole. It's going to look like that. Make sure they're both fully inserted. You're going to start the car. You're going to see your check engine light come on. It's going to be in lit mode. You're going to set your timing accordingly. Once you got timing set, you're going to turn the car off, pull this out, start the car back on, and then timing is set. This is an extra plug-in in case if you guys did an engine swap in this car that was VTEC, or if you guys went with a B18 GSR swap and kept the OEM intake, the IAB intake, the dual butterfly runner thing that GSRs have. This is what it would be for, and I'll show you guys I'll show you guys a picture of all like the wiring pinouts and all that stuff. So then these two wires right here go to the engine bay, and I'll show you where that leads. And I said I'll probably put out what the actual pinouts for these two R's. I can't think of it at the top of my head right now. It'd be easier if I put pictures of it, or just like put it pop up on screen so you guys can pause it or whatever. So all right, so let's go back to the bay. All right, guys, so this is going to be the most challenging part of the video for me. I'll try to simplify this and make this as easy for you guys to understand as possible. At the end of the video, I'm going to be posting up pictures of like the pinouts, color codes, wiring diagrams, all that stuff that hopefully you guys will be able to pause the video to look at and make it understand, help you guys understand better. If this doesn't help, or those don't help, then definitely hit up Brandon at Sheen86 LXI. He can definitely help you guys. He's the one that helped me. He's the wizard when it comes to all this wiring stuff. So yeah, anyway, here we go. Wish me luck. So those two wires that came out of inside the car are these two, the blue, the yellow stripe, and it's kind of hard to tell, it's green. So this is B15 and B16. This white wire is A21. This is your advanced solenoid valve. This actually comes out of the 6-pin connector out of the black box. The black box that sits right here with all the crazy vacuum lines and all that crap that you will no longer need once you go Obd1, which is nice. You're actually going to need extra wiring to extend this to be able to run it towards the Obd0 to Obd1 distributor harness. And as you can see, so you get the blue and the green. I know this is for this, as I said, the colors didn't match with this distributor harness, which was kind of challenging at first, but Brandon helped me out with the pinouts, which I'll still provide, so don't worry about there. So the two wires you saw that came from inside of the car are connected to this blue and green wire. This black wire right here was connected, we'll get to focus a little bit more, to that white wire that came out of the black box, the advanced solenoid valve. And then yeah, these four, this is part of the A20 engine harness for the old distributor. And then your 2-wire right here. Now, all you're going to use, because our cars came external coil and I'm running an internal coil distributor, so all you're going to use is just two. You're going to be using the, what was it? I believe, okay, so it would normally be black and yellow, the wire coloring would be, but it's pink on here. That'll be your positive, and then the blue will be your tax signal. And then the See, I think everything's right here. Cameras, yeah, this black wire, you're not no longer, this went to the external coil that we used to have. You're not gonna be using that in any other wire that came off the distributor coil no longer. Just positive, there's the black and yellow, and then blue, which is blue on here, which is the tack signal. And then, yeah guys, then you just plug it in. This is the Obd1 distributor harness right here. This is that these two are connected to the distributor. So just wire them all up, solder them together however you want, plug them in, and then that is good to go. Okay, so just real quick, I busted this old ugly thing out again. So if you guys that are planning on just staying completely bone stock 820 and want to do the Obd1 conversion, so I'm going to show you guys a couple of things that Brandon was showing me and telling me about. So this is the map sensor, the 820 map sensor that is located in the black box. You don't need to do any rewiring, or just leave it all plugged in. The wiring, the boom slang will take care of it all. Just make sure this is where you're gonna have to mount it somewhere. Most preferable place would be the firewall, and then you can just run the vacuum line hose to this right here. You can block this off like I did, or loop it around somewhere else. You can block this off. You can remove the EGR, or you can leave it on. You don't need to plug it back in if you have the EGR delete on the ECU. Yeah, guys. Yeah, you really don't need much of anything, especially if you have a chipped ECU where you're able to, you know, control all the stuff, all the sensors you want, and maybe there's even some stuff on the Obd1. I don't even think that it knows how to pick up some of the stuff on here, so I could be wrong on that. But so I think I heard that from somewhere, but who knows? Just definitely like a lot less headache and gives you a lot more control, that's for sure. And just a quick, I think I talked about this in a past video. So your TPS, your throttle positioning sensor, or sorry, not your TPS, your intake air temperature sensor is located right here on the intake manifold. I did not know that, and I never hooked it back up. And when I started the car, it was in the check engine light came on, and well, it came on when I switched to the B16 intake manifold. And then, yeah, this is a really weird spot for it, because mostly I always see the intake air temperature sensors located on the intake piping themselves. But yeah, just unscrew it, put in intake piping. I talked about this before, so yeah, just if you guys were going to do like a whole Obd1 plus B16 intake manifold, just showing you some stuff that you're going to need to be able to take off to throw on to where you don't throw code. Okay, all right guys, so let's wrap this up. So when you get your boom slang harness, it's going to come in this. There's the part number in case you guys need it. Here's the extra wiring I was telling you guys about that's next to the service connector. If you guys were going to swap a VTEC engine or B18 GSR engine with the IAB dual butterfly intake manifold. Boom slang does tests on their product, which is awesome. Comes with the instruction booklet they put together. I'll post pictures of all the important stuff in the end of this video for you guys to check out. But it's pretty cool. We have all like the wiring, color, and what they all do. It's pretty cool. And I think I also found the invoice for the ECU, how I had it set up. Just give you guys an idea. Then I did this quick little diagram here. Hopefully this works. Hopefully I didn't mess it up and forgot something or got something mixed up, but yeah, hopefully this works. So let's just start off from the interior of the car. So you're gonna have your 820 ECU harness that used to plug into your OEM Obd0 ECU. You're gonna take that harness, you're gonna plug it into the conversion harness of the boom slang. Then that's gonna hook up to the Obd1 ECU. Two wires gonna come out from that, B15, B16, those two, the blue with the yellow stripe and then the green wire. Okay, those two wires are gonna go to the Obd0 to Obd1 distributor plug, the main big one that goes to the total of 8 wires going to the distributor. Also, the 820 engine harness distributor plug, the older one, is gonna be 4 wires. That's gonna get wired into that as well. And the 821 wire, the white wire that came out of the black box from the 6-pin plug, that's gonna go there too, with a total of 8 wires going into the adapter plug going into the Obd1 distributor for that. And remember, the white wire 821 needs to be extended for it to be able to reach. And then the small one, the small 2-wire one, you come off from your external coil that you used to have that you're no longer going to use if you decide to use an internal distributor or an internal coil distributor, which I recommend doing. And then the black and yellow wire is going to be positive, and then the blue wire is going to be your tax signal. And remember that these 2 wires need to go to the Obd0 to Obd1 distributor plug adapter, and then that gets plugged in to the distributor plug. And then the rest of that for the external coil stuff, all the other wires, you do not need. If you do, for whatever reason, just if it's convenient, you already had an external coil distributor and you have to run an external coil. Guys, wiring is still kind of the same. I would recommend upgrading to like an MSD blaster coil or something at that point. If you have the convenience to do so, now would be a really good time to do it. But yeah, guys, other than that, hopefully I didn't mess anything up or miss anything. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments below. If I can't answer them, then I highly recommend Brandon at Shane86LXI. He can definitely answer all these questions. He's already, he's done coil on plug on an A20, which is awesome. So maybe that's in the future for me as well. I don't know yet, but yeah, guys, that was a lot of information. And I hope I didn't get anything mixed up or messed up. So, also another thing, guys. For you guys that own an 86 or 87 fuel injected that are going to do the Obd1 swap, there's a chance you're going to throw a check engine light code, specifically code 17 regarding the VSS, the vehicle speed sensor. So an easy way to solve this is just finding an 88 through 89 gauge cluster and then just swapping out clusters, or specifically just grabbing the speed pulse box out of the back of an 88 or 89 cluster. If you guys are running a stock ECU, Obd1 ECU, non-chipped, there's a chance you guys can fix this problem if you wire in a 4-wire oxygen sensor as well. So another way to fix it, guys, is to just get a chipped ECU and then just kind of have it custom to your liking to where you wouldn't have to really worry about that. But other than that, guys, that's about it. Thanks again for watching. I hope this video helps, and I'll catch you in the next one.